Welcome to the Media Arts video newsletter for January 31st, 2017. Let's start this week's newsletter with a word of caution. Now, most of the parents who watch this newsletter also check SchoolMax on a regular basis, which is great. With that said, averages in SchoolMax right now aren't very accurate. Brace yourself, there'll be some math in the near future. Allow me to explain. Grades in my classes are broken down into three categories. First, there's classwork, which is 70% of the final average, assessments, which are 20%, and homework, which is 10% of the final average. These percentages are mandated on the county level. They work great, except right at the beginning of the grading cycle. And we're just starting the second week of the quarter. So right now, the only classwork grades are 10-point warm-ups. Our homework is assigned weekly, so 10% of each student's grade right now is hinging on a single assignment. And none of this is quite accurate, as we haven't had any assessment grades yet. That makes the warm-ups and homework even more powerful, for now. Look at it this way. The midterm from last quarter was a 100-point assessment. That sounds like a lot, since assessments are 20% of the whole average, right? I mean, that's 2 letter grades. Except we also had 4 different 50-point assessments during second quarter, making the midterm only a third of that 20%. That's 6.7% of the final average rounded up. That's still a sizable chunk for one assessment, but it was meant to be a summative assessment where students were given a month to show what they've learned so far this year. At the time I'm recording this, there are only 2 warm-ups graded and entered into SchoolMax. Even without the lack of an assessment grade, that makes that teeny little classwork grade for one warm-up worth 35% of the overall score. Of course, this is a temporary problem. We have a 100-point classwork grade due this Friday, which should make student averages more accurately resemble the work that they're doing in class. I talked about those assignments last week, so I'm not going to rehash them here. Next week, we'll have a project-based assessment grade as well. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's going to involve Chroma Key. And it's worth noting that SchoolMax is always a good place to see how your child is doing on individual assignments. Just don't get too upset if the grade is low right now. And if the grade is really good, well, remain cautiously optimistic while asking them to show you what they'll be handing in this Friday. That's it for this episode. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to email me at aaron.smith@pgcps.org. Until next time, be well.